Oh, don't try that at home, okay? How you doing? Live from Las Vegas, it's Cooking with Jack show. Jack Scalfani here. And guess what? It's time to go to the Butcher Block, one of my favorite places to visit, right here in Las Vegas. We're gonna be checking out all types of steak today. We got Ron the Butcher, he's inside cutting right now. Oh, I think he's cooking too. Let's go. Okay, so we're inside the Butcher Block. Now before we go and meet Ron Lutz in the back, he's getting all the steaks ready for us. I need to do a few things. We need to take care of viewer mail.
It's time for viewer mail.
Love that guy. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. First off, before we get to viewer mail, I gotta do a thank you to, I have all my notes on my iPhone here. I love my iPhone. Okay, TK Demand 11. Now TK Demand 11 took all my videos and edited them together, and he did like a tribute, or it's a really nice gesture he did, and he did such a great job. So after you're done watching this video, go on over to his video and see the great work he did. Thanks again, guy, I really appreciate it. And I have some upcoming shows I want to tell you about. One we got coming, football season. It's already kicked off, and we're going to be doing football Sunday snacks. We're also going to be giving you microwave tips. I know it sounds like totally low quality and doing the microwave thing, but this is my cooking show, and I use the microwave, and there's so many good tips. So we're going to do a whole episode on that, and then we're going to do Battle of the TV Dinners. I'm going to tell you from beginning to end the best TV dinners out there, the Marie Callender's, all the way down to Hungry Man. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? Did that slip out? That's another episode coming up. Right now, we're going to change devices. We're going to go to my BlackBerry. I'm so wired up, it's unbelievable. Okay, and when we go to the BlackBerry, we get my viewer mail, and this one is from DS Skater. DS Skater writes and says, "Hey Jack, please help me on this one. I went to make one of your delicious looking omelets." He's referring to how to make the perfect omelet video. And he says, "And right as I was about to put the omelet in the broiler, my mom stopped me. She said it would ruin or warp the stainless steel pan. Is this true?" It is completely stainless steel. No rubber handle thing. Please help me. LOL. Laugh out loud. Okay, number one, if you're putting anything in the oven and your mom's stopping you, you might be too young to be putting things in the oven. So take that into consideration, okay? Number two, you need to look at the brand of pan you're using online and make sure it can go up to 350 degrees. It's usually your oven safe temperature. And if that's okay, then it's okay to put in there. But show your mom first and get her permission. I do not want moms writing me and yelling at me. Please, let's not go there, all right? I got my own mom yelling at me. I gotta find some footage on that because you're gonna love seeing my mom screaming at me. All right, so let's do this. We're done with viewer mail for right now. Keep the emails coming. Go on Twitter or go on Facebook. We'll see you in the back room. We're gonna go meet Ron Lutz right now from the Butcher Block. I know I said we were gonna go meet Ron Lutz from the Butcher Block in the back with the steaks. We're gonna do that in a moment, okay? But first, I gotta tell you about what's in here. They have a case of specialty stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys like crawfish. This is just all the meat from crawfish. You don't have to do any of the cracking. It's so easy. Check this out. Wait till you see what's in here. I got beef tongue. Beef tongue. I don't know what the cow's saying right now, but the tongue's right here. Look how big that is. What do we got here? Hanger steak. I don't even know what hanger steak is. I don't know what animal it comes from. Oh, look at lamb shanks. Look at that. I'm sure that lamb needs this. What else we got here? I'm looking at young pheasant. These are all specialty meats. They've got alligator. They got kangaroo. Antelope meat. Oh, wow. What is that? What is that? Hold on a minute. Look at this. Do you know what these are? You know what these are? Okay, it's a guy thing. This is just hilarious. Okay, let me just tell you that these are, they're politely called bull fries, but let me give you a little hint. If you get mad at a bull, you can always kick these, okay? Well, all right. Anyway, they have all types of meat in here. Venison. Just come on by and check this out at the Butcher Block. It's everything you think of. Rabbit and turtle. I didn't even know you could eat turtle. You would think the shell would get stuck in your teeth. This is the case right here at the Butcher Block, that all your specialty meats, including these, are available. All right, now let's go in the back. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized something. All right, first, you know what? We got to take a quick break, and then I'll meet you in the back. You're watching the Cooking with Jack show. We'll be right back, right after this message. Hey, how you doing? Jack Scalfani here to tell you about my line of sauces. It's called the best barbecue sauce you'll ever taste. It's so good, we made a hot one. There it is. If that's not good enough, we made the best teriyaki sauce you'll ever taste. Bam! And to make it even better, we just released the best gourmet seasoning you'll ever taste. Go to thebestsauces.com, 100% guarantee. We do free shipping anywhere in the United States. Go to thebestsauces.com. I'll be there waiting for you. And now, back to the Cooking with Jack show. Now that we're inside, it's so much better. You're talking 110 degrees outside, but in here, it's nice and cold. This is where I want to hang out when I'm in Las Vegas. My buddy Ron Lutz, he's the owner of the Butcher Block right here in Las Vegas on Rainbow Boulevard. Go to their website if you need any information about where they're located, or if you just want to give them a call them up. Number's right on the screen. Now, Ron, I got to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
Before we get into the all about steak, okay? I'm curious, you were Treasure Island's
Head butcher
head butcher.
for 15 years.
So you opened Treasure Island?
I did, 1993.
1993. Wow. Okay, did you do all the restaurants in Treasure Island?
All the restaurants, yes.
So all the meat comes to you first,
Exactly.
and then you chop it all up, and then do you decide where everything goes, or they've already ordered it?
What's all on a requisition system. They rec what they need for their restaurant, and we fill their orders daily.
Really? And
Yes.
now you just left Treasure Island on the Strip, right?
Yes, I did.
To start your own business.
You know it.
The Butcher Block.
You got it.
All right. Do we bang elbows?
We
'Cause
bang
you got-
elbows.
We
I
bang
got
elbows.
gloves.
You got
Let's do
gloves.
it.
Exactly. Okay, so now we're going to go to the steaks. I want to know the different grades.
Okay.
I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, y'all, you agreed. That was
No,
easy.
no.
I want you to explain to me
Okay.
what the best cuts are, what the worst cuts are, what we look for in steak. Just show me the different categories and tell me about steak. So when I'm shopping at my local butcher, because some of us, not all of us, live in Vegas.
Right.
All right. But if you do live in Vegas, I'm sure you'll come in here, right? So why don't we go up close to the meat, and then we'll talk more about details.
You got it. Okay, we'll start here with the porterhouse. Now, porterhouse is great because it's got a New York on the top side, and it's got a filet mignon on the bottom side.
hold on a minute. So you're saying that top side is New York?
That's a New York steak.
So-
when that's boned out, we'll talk about that later, but when that's boned out, you will get a New York steak like this.
No.
For reals.
I never knew that.
For reals. You get the two of them together, there you go. You got a New York and a filet.
Okay, that is
All right, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's
All right.
talk
Sorry,
here.
sorry.
No problem. Okay, so we got a porterhouse steak here. Nice New York on the top, nice filet at the bottom. Number one thing you want to look at, marbling. I'm not talking about the fat on the outside of the steak. I'm talking about the marbling flecks on the inside of the meat. Inner muscular flecks of fat. That's what you want on every steak that you buy. Leads to three things: tenderness, flavored, and juice. That's what you want in your steak. Now we'll come down to a T-bone. A T-bone has a little bit of a smaller New York and a little bit smaller of a filet. But the New York tends to be a little bit better, a little less chewier, because you don't have this vein or nerve that runs right through the porterhouse.
Wow.
Now we'll come down to a filet. And like I was saying to you, when you bone out the porterhouse, you'll get a filet mignon and you'll get a New York steak. And the number one thing you want to look at again is the marbling scores right through your steaks. You always want that. If you don't have that, you won't have those three things that I was telling you: flavor, juice, and tender. Okay, the other piece of meat that's really good on the grill, my favorite steak of all, is the ribeye. I have both of them here. You know it. All that fat leads to those three things I'm telling you. And the number one thing on a ribeye is its outside muscle. But then I have another one that's a boneless. Same thing. You want to look for that marbling scores, those flecks of marbling right through the steak. If you have those, you're going to get those three things I keep telling everybody about. Now we go into the Japanese A5 Kobe beef. Look at all the marbling in that steak. That is what makes that steak the number one steak on the planet and the highest beef on the planet.
Hold on a minute. Now let's talk about this piece.
Okay.
I know your arm's gonna get tired, but
Okay.
this amazes me. You're telling me that that piece of meat has all that fat, and that's the highest quality steak on the market.
You got it. And
What does A5 mean?
A5 is the highest grade beef Japanese people or Japanese beef producers give their beef. A5 is the most highest grade beef there is in Japan, which is Kobe, Japan.
So the Japanese love fat.
There you know it. All that leads to those three things I keep telling you about, and that's why they love it.
Oh man, that's great.
And then the less expensive Kobe or Wagyu beef, this is a number 7 grade Greg Norman Australian New York steak. And then again, the marbling flex. That's what you want in that, and that is why the Wagyu or the Japanese Kobe is as good as it is. And it's because of that marbling through the meat.
All right, real quick question. What makes that Australian? Is it from like kangaroo or is that beef
It's the
also?
same breed cattle as they have in Kobe, Japan,
Right.
just raised different standards, different grain, different feed program in Australia or United States rather than Kobe, Japan.
So you're saying the food that you give the cow makes the difference of the steak?
For reals. The age of the beef and what you feed it is what gives it this marbling. And Wagyu beef is the number 1 marbling scored producer of all cattle. Over
No
Holstein,
way.
Hereford, Angus, all of it. Wagyu produces the most marbling of all cattle.
Sweet. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. And that's your middle meats, that's your grilling steaks. Now let's talk about even least quality steaks, like your top sirloins, your tri-tips, and so on and so forth. You still want to look for those key factors of the marbling through the meat, which is the marbling flex. We're not talking about this outside piece of fat here. You know, we want that trimmed to an 1/8 inch, because otherwise if they don't trim it to an 1/8 inch, the grocery stores or wherever, they're passing that cost of the fat on to you as the consumer. You don't want that outside fat to be an inch on there. You want it to be an 1/8 of an inch, and that's, legit, but you want those marbling scores through the whole piece of steak. And this is a top sirloin, but this is going to eat great because it's got that marbling scores through there. And it's not as expensive as your middle meats. So it's great for all kinds of different things, different cooking methods, different, family methods. Instead, feed a whole family a top sirloin rather than buy 5 steaks for one person.
Right.
Or for a family of 5, rather.
So that's a good economy steak, right?
Exactly. Then the same with the flank steak. This is a flank steak, same thing. You want those marbling scores through it, and that's what makes it taste good. Even though it's a least quality steak, or not your grilling steak, you can still produce this into making a really good flavored steak just because of the marbling scores.
You want to tell us really quick the best way to cut flank steak? I learned this the hard way.
Flank steak, man, you lay them out. A lot of people overcook their flank steaks. Then they dry them out. You want to cook them probably 3-4 minutes hot grill each side, but then you want to slice it this way. People slicing it this way, you're going to go with the grain. It's going to be chewy and tough. You always want to slice it thin at an angle against the grain. And then again, this is just like a London broil, great London broil, and they're great steaks.
So that's the difference between success and failure on a flank.
Totally true. And they're great when you marinate them.
All right.
Now we're going to go to a tri-tip. Another least expensive steak, one of my favorites as well. Great to feed your family on it. Throw the whole thing on the grill, slow cook it, little indirect heat. Then again, grain goes this way, you want to slice against the grain. And the people, mistakenly just start chopping it, and then you're again going chewing with the grain, and it's chewy and it's not as tender.
Beautiful.
Same thing with pork. A lot of people don't understand. Pork fat is great. You want to get that marbling through the pork. See it like it is, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Same thing. You don't want 2 inches of fat on there, but then again, some people like that, so we do it that way for them as well. But you want the marbling through the meat, no matter if it's pork, lamb, veal, beef. You want those marbling, and that's what makes you have a better steak, better pork chop, better lamb chop, whatever it may be.
Okay, well, there you go. The butcher block. I'm starving for steak right now. I don't know about you. I'm going to go grill some up, and then I'm going to hit the casinos because, baby, this is Las Vegas Field Trip. I'm Jack Scalfani. You take care. I'll see you on the next episode of Cooking with Jack.